This is Weather Authority Weekday.
All right, well, good Monday morning, everyone. Meteorologist Chris Holtzman here. It's time for our Weather Authority Weekday stream, and we have a lot to talk about. So it was certainly very warm out there yesterday. I was on the air. We had temperatures around 82 in Jacksonville. We tied the record high temperature at the Craig Airport there in Jacksonville, around 81 degrees, but the international airport got to about 82. 83 was the previous record. And we had some rain, and that's that transition zone between the warmer temperatures to seeing the colder temperatures move into our area. So let's actually pull up our weather cameras full, and I'll open up our radar as well. And I do want to show you that we do have across the area the clouds, the lens very wet as well. And that's in association with some rain that we had. So we'll zoom on out and I'll put this into motion. And we had a line of some downpours move through. That activity is now generally south and east of our viewing area. And I'll put this on the national radar, and you can see as I put U.S. radar here, that's in association with that front, more stronger activity across portions of central and south Florida. This is also very interesting as well. We can look at power outage numbers. So what I'll do is I'm going to turn off the lightning, and what you can see, look at some of these areas. Now, this is where we had ice, and I'll talk about this in our national weather block. But to put this into perspective, look at some of these counties. 114,000 folks without power there. These are in some of the counties in the upstate of South Carolina. And that means a large part of the counties, but some other spots that were hit very hard by ice, including Mississippi, all the way to portions of Texas, and then up into New England. Power outages not as high with that heavy snow, but again, certainly has been an active stretch of weather across the area, and that's in association with that system that moved across our region. So we have seen some rain this morning. We're starting to dry out, and clouds will gradually start to break across our area. 55 is our temperature right now. So believe it or not, our high temperature was actually early this morning, where we had temperatures in the 60s. We'll start to see temperatures remain nearly steady in the 50s, and eventually by this evening we'll fall to near 50. And our wind direction is changing. Yesterday we had that southerly wind, and that's what brought those warmer temperatures around. Now we're seeing eventually a northwesterly wind around 17. Very breezy out there as well, but we'll be tracking that. A live look in St. Augustine, we're tracking some of that lower visibility around, likely due to the camera lens there. But for the most part, it is dry. And as we take a live look at Julington Creek, still seeing the clouds around, but you can see some of that clearing trying to move into the area. 56 is our temperature there in Julington Creek, and our wind is from the northwest around 13. Downtown Jacksonville, as I mentioned, more of the same, where we have those temperatures in the 50s, and we are tracking some of those low clouds across our area. Jacksonville International, where we were close to a record yesterday, we got to about 82, the record 83. And now we're looking at a temperature down to 55 with the wind around 17 miles per hour. Now temperatures, so again, we've been all over the place. The majority of our viewing area, we had temperatures in the 50s and 60s. However, into Georgia, which yesterday, by the way, we were stuck in the 50s and 60s in Brunswick. Waycross got into the 70s yesterday. They were actually under a severe thunderstorm warning. The northern part of Ware County, most of the storm was to the north, but we had some storms nearby. It's 43. That's the low in Waycross this morning. 46 in Lake City. But again, temperatures across north, or I should say right along the metro and south, 60s. It's right around 70 degrees. So again, those were our high temperatures. But now we'll start to see temperatures nearly stationary or drop as we head into the afternoon. That actual front is now east of our area. So you can see all that associated rain pushing through central and south Florida. We have that area of high pressure. You can see that on the left side of your screen. That is sinking south. That's an Arctic area of high pressure, and that is bringing in very cold temperatures to our area as we head as early as Tuesday, where we do have, by the way, a freeze warning in effect. So temperatures right now, very similar to where our highs were. Jacksonville's at 55 at the airport, but St. Johns County, Southern Duval County, over to Clay and Putnam counties, we're actually in the 60s right now. It's 65 in St. Augustine. Green Cove Springs and Clay County, we're at 63, 65 in Palatka. And then to the north and west of, say, Jacksonville, McClenny's still near 60, but then Lake City, we're dropping down to Columbia County into the 40s. Brunswick, St. Mary's, over to Kingsland and Georgia, we're looking at 50s. And then north and west, Waycross, those are the coldest numbers right now at 43 degrees. And That's courtesy of that colder air moving in. You can see that northwesterly wind around 10 to even 20 miles per hour. So it is certainly a bit breezy out there, courtesy of that high and that front being close together. That's why the breeze will be more noticeable today. And temperatures, as you can see, were falling. So if you're in the 40s now, you'll likely hover right around the upper 40s to right around 50 for most of the day. The rest of the area generally falling into the 50s as we head into the afternoon. And again, that sunshine will start to return as those clouds depart our area. So again, our high temperatures today, those were our early numbers this morning, so we'll only fall from here. And Futurecast is showing into the evening, clouds break up and we are left with sunshine. Some clouds may try to move in into Tuesday, but you still notice that breeze, especially along the coast, those lines moving fairly rapidly. And that's an indication that we are tracking some of that wind. Now, I do want to give you the alert as well. We do have a freeze warning in effect for our area. That includes our entire viewing area, and those are for temperatures to drop to or below freezing. And this is likely the first of many freeze warnings that we'll have for our areas. It looks like every night this week will likely for most of our area drop below freezing. So it's consecutive freezes where we certainly need to take those protective measures, especially with any pipes, of course, plants, people. You want to make sure pets as well that we're taking those safety measures as freeze conditions are likely. In fact, for tonight, temperatures will drop into the 20s for a large part of our area. Only exception, the immediate coast right on the water, likely near freezing, but this is a widespread freeze across our area with temperatures in the 20s for many locations. Now into tomorrow, the cold really starts to move in. We should be in the mid 60s to even upper 60s for this time of year, and highs will only be in the 40s to right around 50 degrees. Many locations will struggle to hit 50 degrees tomorrow. So that is some big time cold. And it's really just the onset of it because temperatures likely the next few days will stay in the 50s. Futurecast shows throughout the day with that area of high pressure over us, we're keeping that sunshine around. So at least we have the sunshine, but again, it's still cold out there. But at least with direct sunlight, it might feel a bit more manageable as opposed to clouds and seeing temperatures in the 40s across our area. Now, I do want to show you as well our temperature forecast and our upper level winds. And what I'll do, it looks like it's running backwards there. We'll change this. And what I'll show you is in terms of our temperature forecast, what we're looking at, that colder air is moving right into our country. And it's in right now. And what I'll do is I'll put this through the end of the weekend. And what you'll notice as I save this, and then we'll go back into our graphics here, is that this is a far-reaching area of cold air. So watch what happens here as we advance through Tuesday. All of that blue is over the entire state of Florida. Coldest of the air will stay to our north. This is through Thursday, even into Friday, and then eventually look at all of that cold air dive down. There's some indications from some of our guidance this morning. We could see temperatures over the weekend only in the 40s with lows in the 20s. So we could be tracking even colder conditions. Some models like to show a disturbance developing in the southeast, and we're on the backside of that system. We get the wraparound flow, and that brings in a northerly flow, bringing all of the colder temperatures around. So we'll have to watch, and of course, we'll let you know later in the week the placement, but the bottom line, average low for this time of year is 43 degrees. Now, granted, it is a bit higher along the coast, but look at every day through the weekend. We are below normal. 20s, Tuesday, Wednesday, even most of us on Thursday. Friday, more of us right around freezing. Saturday, perhaps just above freezing. But again, we typically talk about each year, we get our cold spells. This is one of them, especially a prolonged cold pattern as we head through the week into the upcoming weekend. Rain chances, though, remain very minimal as we head through the week, as high pressure will be firmly over us, and that will lead to a dry forecast. But again, what you see is what you get with our numbers. I mean, we're tracking temperatures only in the 50s. Yeah, that's a big change. How about that? So we were at 82 yesterday, 60s this morning. We're falling to near 50 by the afternoon, 20s widespread overnight tonight. Tuesday will be right around 50 with lows back in the 20s, and then we're back into the 50s on Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even into Sunday, we are tracking highs in the 50s with overnight lows in the 30s. So again, we want to make sure we take those freeze and frost protections, as we will be dealing with this not only for Tuesday, but all the way through the upcoming weekend, perhaps into early next week. So locally, it was a quiet weekend. We certainly had some active weather up to the north. I'll break down some of the details on that massive snowstorm and ice storm that's coming up after this short break. Back, everyone. I want to start out. This is pretty remarkable. Now, Florida, obviously, we know it's a big state by area. Look at our temperatures across the state. Pretty remarkable. So the coldest of the air, Pensacola is 34. Even Tallahassee, a couple hours to our west, 39 degrees right now. Jacksonville, we're at 55. Now, keep in mind, South Florida, the front does not cross those areas. So those temperatures were where we were yesterday. The front will fully cross the state, and we are tracking colder temperatures. But at least at the current moment, 80s south, 60s across central Florida, even across portions of, as I mentioned, St. Johns County over to Clay and Putnam counties. But I mean, pretty remarkable, the spread in temperatures, which we can often see in Florida this time of year, with the coldest of the air likely and usually found in the Panhandle. 39 in Tallahassee, only 34 in Pensacola. But look at that cold air. This is far-reaching cold. I mean, pretty remarkable. All the way to Texas, we have temperatures right now in the 20s, teens across Dallas, over to portions of New Mexico, and then a large part of the plains, Minnesota, Illinois, Wisconsin, over to Missouri, single digits, if not below zero. But again, what we have to do, let's look at that wind chill, and this is the number that it feels like as you're stepping outside in a large part of the central part of the country. I mean, pretty remarkable, feeling like 10 to 20, even 30 degrees below zero. So that is some big time cold. Now, we'll be waiting tomorrow to see those temperatures drop into the 20s. Could see wind chill values perhaps in the teens. We also have, by the way, which I did not mention, but what I kind of alluded to, we have a cold weather advisory up as well, and that replaced the wind chill advisory. So again, with the wind and the actual temperature, we could see those wind chill values at or below 20 degrees across our area. In terms of the storm that we were tracking, we'll show you that we have that front right over Florida and to our north. You see that area of low pressure over portions of the northeast. That's that associated system that brought over a foot of snow to many locations in New England and even to portions of the mid-Atlantic. But locally, again, we are starting to dry out. This is a look at snow cover. So we'll take that full and I'll kind of show you what we have ongoing across our area, because what we're looking at as we take the graphic full there, I do want to show you that we do have snowfall, some amounts. I think I can look at some of these numbers, but pretty remarkable. Now, this is actual snowfall on the ground, and you'll see across a large part of New England over to Connecticut, Massachusetts. Some of these numbers are a bit exaggerated, but you get the idea. Over a foot of snow all the way down to Virginia, North Carolina. But again, you'll see portions of Louisiana. Now, keep in mind, this likely also takes into account the icing that we've seen, and there has been more ice as opposed to snow across portions of the South. But that's something we're looking out for. So today, again, the bitterly cold temperatures are over the central part of the country. We could see high temperatures as much as 40 degrees below normal across portions of the plains. And extreme cold is likely to bring record minimum high temperatures to the south. By the way, thousands in Mississippi, as I mentioned, are without power in frigid temperatures. And folks, they're really dealing with some of these harsh conditions. We have the latest from Mississippi.
It never ceases to amaze how North Mississippians figure out how to make it even when times are tough like they are now. Things didn't look very good in Pontotoc County on Sunday. Many were without power.
It's tough because we don't have natural gas or anything, all electric and nothing. It is.
It's rough.
It's rough. We're going to have to stay at a friend's house who's got heat.
One man I talked to said that he is blessed to have his gas right now.
Just blessed to get my natural gas on. I got natural gas, but I still ain't got no lights, and I had a griller to cook on. I got something cooking on it now. So God been good to me, and I thank him for it. And we got trees down everywhere. And our power went out by 2 o'clock last night, and it ain't came on yet.
But any way you look at it, it's tough to go without power when it's this cold.
Our power been out without power. It's 11 o'clock last night.
Wow.
We don't have any power.
It's times like these that neighbors pitch in to help one another.
So a tree had fallen on our neighbor's front porch this morning, and we pulled it off. But since then, larger branches has fallen down. So we're just trying to clear the path for her so she has a way to get out of her front door and a place to park.
Being without power is tough for sure, but sometimes they say you just have to hold on until help arrives. I mean, how you making it right now?
Well, with the help of the good Lord, we are making it pretty good.
Yeah, pretty interesting stuff in terms of those photos. Certainly very impressive with ice, and that's what that can do. Especially, don't forget, down there, folks see on the trees, usually there's more leaves, and the leaves certainly allow for the branches to be weighed down more. And that's kind of what happened as well up into the Northeast in the 2010-2011 timeframe when there was a significant ice storm. So again, anything that weighs down the branches, certainly not good. And folks in Tennessee also dealing with that ice and also snow across the area. So let's take the latest from Tennessee showing some of the damage from this winter storm.
And that weight almost caused a tree to collapse right on top of us.
It lights it.
Neighbors in the Donaldson Hills community say that crackling sound, the sound that you just heard, has been nonstop all morning.
Like every 10 minutes, it sounds like there's another big limb crashing to the ground.
Slushy and slick roads are expected to turn into sheets of ice. Trees are stretched across streets, and thousands of homes are without power. Neighbors here call this storm a first of its kind.
We lived here almost 20 years, and this is the worst.
I can't remember one this bad, this much ice.
For the Faircloth family, there's even more pressure. They just brought home their newborn, and now they're caring for him in the dark.
So we just came home with him yesterday. I didn't have time to prepare for this, and then the power goes out at 7 a.m. this morning, so just trying to keep him warm and fed is our main priority right now.
Despite the dangerous conditions, neighbors say community is what's getting them through this.
One neighbor comes out and starts looking at tree branches that needs to be taken off the road, and we all just come out. I think we probably had about 10 guys out here.
Yeah, certainly very, at least the damage there, impressive. In fact, reminds me of when I grew up in Connecticut. In 2010, we had the October snowstorm in New England. If you have any friends or family, if you're from there, you certainly remember that. Basically, Halloween that year didn't happen with all the snow and that crackling sound when you hear the ice on the branches. You never know when one's going to come down. So, yeah, very powerful. Mother Nature certainly showing, at least on the winter side of things, very destructive with that icing and also the snow. There was even snow, as I mentioned, into New England, the Northeast, Massachusetts. We had some winter storm conditions, over a foot of snow there. And even you can see on the onset of the system some of that snow beginning to fall, and some spots picked up snowfall rates over 2 inches per hour in Massachusetts. And even more impressively, this system in New York. We had snow in New York in Central Park. Look at this in New York City. So folks out there shoveling, and New York City, as you know, it's right by the water. They typically don't get significant winter storms as frequently as interior parts of New York and also New England, but this was a very impactful storm as well for New York City across the region. So again, certainly everyone's going to be talking about the winter storm. Our area, we're certainly going to be talking about the cold on the backside of that system. Now into the snow accumulation, again, there could be a little bit more into the Northeast behind that system, but then we are tracking low temperatures by Tuesday morning. Coldest of the air, you can see in those shaded circles there, those polygons, and that's where we could see temperatures, could see record low morning temperatures to areas of the Southeast and even in the Mid-Atlantic, Virginia, down to North Carolina, over to Texas, and many other states over there. So our overall setup as we head into tomorrow, just want to talk about that. We do have some upper level moisture, so that could aid in some more snow showers across areas that have already seen plenty of snow. And our temperature set up a large part of the country, central and eastern part, seeing those below normal temperatures. And over the next 3 days, we get the idea of tracking the cold. The majority of the United States below freezing this morning. As we head into Tuesday, certainly seeing the cold really over most of the country, with cold temperatures persisting as the system moves east. And even into Wednesday, look at those numbers. We're tracking the eastern part of the country impacted by the cold. And the west, on the flip side, typically with weather, when there's a colder spot, there's a warmer spot. And because we have that trough in the east, there's a ridge building in the west, and that means higher pressure, warmer temperatures and the western part of the country will be a bit warmer across the area. In terms of a look ahead, just our weather pattern again for today, that snowstorm departs. For Tuesday, a system brings a light snow to the Great Lakes region, but by Wednesday, we're tracking a system in the northern part of the country and the west coast, where we're likely expecting more rain across our area. I just want to end, by the way, with some cold weather tips again with our pipes, which we'll certainly need to do this week as we have several nights for most of us below freezing. So make sure to remove, drain, and store outdoor hoses. Consider insulation materials for those exposed pipes outdoors. You want to let that cold water drip from a faucet. And because remember, when water's stationary in a pipe, it freezes, it bursts the pipe. When you have the water dripping, that means the water's moving a bit, the fluid, and that prevents it from freezing like it would if it were to be at least not dripping. You want to make sure you open those kitchen and bathroom cabinets, allow some warmer air to move in with the pipes there, and then you want to leave the heat no lower than 55 degrees across our area. So a lot to talk about. We certainly have talked about the snow, the cold, the near record warm temperatures. Of course, we'll be with you through the week with the cold temperatures, and we'll be on at noon with the latest forecast, and also this evening with the information. You can also get the latest forecast online and on our weather app. So I hope you have a great rest of your Monday, and I will be back here again tomorrow at the same time. Have a great day.
See why every day more people are choosing News4JAX, Northeast Florida and South Georgia's #1 source for local news.